Hi there, my friends. Before we get into analyzing your BaZi, I have a quick question. Have you ever visited a fortune teller before? Have you seen them ramble on and on and on, and you wonder, where did they get their information from? Could they be making it up? Could they be pulling answers from the air because they know you don't know much about BaZi? Therefore, for the benefit of both of us, I would like to share with you a quick introduction of BaZi. In this video, I will share with you the 5 most important concepts of BaZi, so that you will have sufficient understanding to follow along and have a clearer picture of what I'm explaining when we discuss your BaZi later on. So let's get into the first concept that I'd like to share with you in BaZi, and that is Yin-Yang. So what's Yin-Yang? Basically 2 contrasting forms of energy. Day and night, hot and cold, a vibrant place versus a quiet place, hard and soft, strong and weak, the man-masculine energy and the female-feminine energy. It can also be character, outgoing extrovert and a more reserved introvert, a person who talks a lot and a person who's quiet. So everything in this world can be categorized under these 2 forms of energy. The second concept that I'd like to share with you is the 5 elements, which further categorize energy after Yin-Yang. So what are they? Basically, we have metal, water, wood, fire, and earth elements. So everything in this world, they can be categorized under one of these elements. For instance, a knife represents metal energy. The water that you drink is, of course, water energy. The fire and the stove, they are of fire energy. And the wooden table is of wood energy. This categorization goes beyond physical objects. It includes various parts of our lives, like time, space, health, and even a person's character. Let me share with you a few examples. In terms of health, our Chinese ancestors thought of the lungs as a metal element and kidneys as water element. Direction-wise, they associate the north with water and the south with fire, and so on and so forth. With regards to time, the summer month is classified as fire energy, while winter is of water energy. As for character, in Chinese Confucianism, we talk about 仁义礼智信, so traits like loyalty, 义气, they are considered metal energy, while benevolence, 仁义, is considered a form of wood energy, and so on and so forth. These are just a few examples. It's not possible for me to list everything over here, but I'm very sure you get the picture. Within the 5 elements concept, other than its categorization, there is another thing to take note of, which is the relationship between each of these 5 elements. Basically, they have this Shen and Ke relationship, which in English I like to call the nurture and curb relationship. So what does this nurture and curb relationship mean? Each element can nurture and give life to another element, and it can also curb and control another element. For the nurturing example, wood can burn and turn into fire, and so wood nurtures fire. Then we have fire nurturing earth. Why? Because after it burns out, it turns to ash and goes back to the earth. And in the earth, we have minerals like copper, bronze, silver, and gold. These are metals. So earth nurtures metal. With regards to the curb relationship, metal can be a knife or an axe that can cut down a tree. Water can curb and extinguish the blazing fire. And fire can melt the hard and solid metal. So that's a brief explanation of what nurture and curb relationship is all about. Within the 5 elements concept, there is another thing I think it's necessary to share with you. That is 合化 or combination. An analogy for that will be something that we have learned in school before. Chemistry. When one element mixes with another element, it transforms into another element. For example, when a certain fire element encounters another element, it may transform into water. Just like in chemistry, hydrogen plus oxygen, when you mix them together, it becomes water. So why do we need to bother about this combination? That's because in a BaZi, sometimes we might hear people say, this BaZi has a lot of fire, this BaZi has a lot of water. But if we look closely, when there's a combination, the fire might have turned into earth, might have turned into water. It might have transformed into another element. So there isn't so much fire as it may seem initially. So it's not so easy as just simply looking at the 8 characters. We need to assess the situation. So now, why do we need to know about these 5 elements? It's because our BaZi is simply made up of Yin-Yang and the 5 elements. BaZi, also known as 四柱 or the 4 pillars of destiny, consists of 4 pillars: the year pillar, made up of 2 words or elements, the month pillar, the day pillar, and the time pillar, totaling 8 words. That's why it's called BaZi. In a BaZi chart, the top row is what we call Tiangan, or the heavenly stems, while the bottom row, the bottom 4 words, is called Dizhi, or the earthly branches. Each of these elements has its own representation of the 5 elements and Yin-Yang. Therefore, we can say that your BaZi is a combination of energy comprising Yin-Yang and the 5 elements. You might have heard people saying something like this: "Oh, my master said that I have a lack of water in my BaZi, I have too much fire in my BaZi," that kind of statements. So basically, we can use what we have discussed so far about Yin-Yang and the 5 elements to understand about what they actually mean. For instance, too much fire means a person is very passionate or very impulsive, just like a blazing fire. While too much water could suggest that, hey, this person might have a very playful personality. So this is just one layer of analyzing BaZi. There are many layers to it. Analyzing Yin-Yang and Wu-Xing is just one basic level. So some masters, they might offer solutions to a BaZi. For instance, if a person has too much fire, they might say, you need to use water to balance, to improve your life, to improve the BaZi. So they might say, for career-wise, you need to go and be a swimmer. You need to go to the north to work. That kind of things. Sometimes it can be very amusing. That's a very basic level of analyzing BaZi. In fact, a very low level. Therefore, I'm going to introduce you to the third concept in this video, which is called 十神, or the 10 gods, which is a higher level of analyzing a person's BaZi, because analyzing Yin-Yang and Wu-Xing is not enough. These 10 gods, by the way, they are not 10 different gods, but rather there are 10 different 精神 in Chinese. 10 different attitudes, 10 different character traits, 10 different spirits in life. Think of it as 10 different characters in a TV show or a movie. Each has a unique superpower. Let me share a few examples here. We have the 食神, or eating god. As the name suggests, it's related to food, like a chef. People with this 食神 in their BaZi often have artistic or technical talents, just like a chef, and they are generally fortunate in life, enjoying good food regularly. Another example is the 七煞, or the 7 kill. As the name implies, individuals with this 7 kill, they have a very powerful aura, just like a general or mafia. People naturally will tend to listen to them because they carry a very strong presence. I hope you are still here with me. As you can see, BaZi is a really complex topic. And trust me, there are so many other concepts that I didn't share, because if I did, this video will turn into a 1-week BaZi course. I'm taking this time to share these 5 important concepts with you, even though it's an additional step for me, as I could have gone straight to talk about your BaZi. The reason is because I want to be more responsible than the other BaZi masters out there. By taking this time to share these 5 important concepts, it ensures that you as my client, you have a better understanding of your BaZi when we discuss about it later on. And not only that, it helps you to help yourself in the future because you have better knowledge and clarity about BaZi. You don't have to spend money again and again to get your BaZi analyzed. Additionally, you gain some metaphysics knowledge and wisdom that are passed down from our Chinese ancestors, which you can apply to your life. If you are interested to learn more about BaZi or to find out more about the concepts that I've shared so far in this video, do check out my YouTube channel where I have videos to elaborate more on these concepts that I've shared in detail. If you feel that you have learned something and would like to see more of it, please like and subscribe to my channel. Now back to this video, and here's the good news. We are more than halfway through, and up next, I am going to share the 2 most important concepts of my entire BaZi introduction. However, if you're feeling tired, I suggest that you take a break over here and return later to watch and understand these 2 concepts. The next concept that I like to share is BaZi profiling. Think of it like Western horoscope, where Aries have a set of characteristics and Taurus tends to behave in a certain way, Pisces are dreamy, that kind of profiling. So in BaZi, we have such profiling as well. In fact, many layers of it. On the most basic level, we have the day master profiling, where we categorize you under one of the 5 elements. But that's not the profiling that I want to talk about here. There is another even higher level of profiling called 格局, which is a key profiling that I want to discuss over here. See, people often engage in profiling based on their experiences, societal norms, and preconceived notions. This tendency is part of how our brains process information to make sense of the world. When someone mentions their profession, such as being a doctor or a lawyer, our minds may automatically associate certain qualities or traits with that role. For example, when someone says that they are a doctor, we might instantly think of words like good in school, caring, and earning big bucks. If somebody mentions that they are a lawyer, we might associate traits like very eloquent and upholds justice. In BaZi profiling, the goal is to identify and understand what profile is this particular person. What are his or her characteristics based on the BaZi. It's not about labeling whether he's good or bad, but rather to understand what are their innate strengths and weaknesses and their potential traits. So basically, BaZi represents a person's character, and there's this saying, your character determines your behavior, and your behavior determines your destiny. So when we analyze your BaZi, you have so many different kind of 10 gods, so many different superpowers, and they are basically all your character. So in this high-level profiling 格局, what we want to know is what is the predominant 10 god, what is the predominant superpower that you have in the BaZi by using a set of BaZi formula and also a master's judgment. Let's take a look at an example over here. In this chart, this person has got so many different kind of 10 gods, so many different traits. He has this 7Q over here and there, and he has this 正财 or direct wealth over here, 正官 or direct officer here, 偏财 or what we call indirect wealth here. So this person will exhibit all these 10 god, all these traits, but the predominant one, the most prominent trait in this person's BaZi is the 正财 or direct wealth based on a formula and my judgment. So we have the standard ones like the 食神格, 上官格, 正财格, 偏财格, and so on and so forth, a total of 10 standard ones. Additionally, there are some special profile types, such as 专旺格, the exclusive element profile, 重格, the follower profile, and 化气格, the element combination profile. However, it's important to note that having a special profile type in BaZi doesn't necessarily mean it's better. Remember I said in BaZi profiling, we use specific formulas and a master's judgment to categorize BaZi into different profiles. So the special profiles are those that don't fit into the usual formulas, and they will have different rules on how to improve their BaZi and make their lives better. So why is this BaZi key profiling or 格局 important? It's like identifying a dish. You need to know what dish is this, then you know how it should taste like and what is lacking in this dish. It's like having an Indian fish curry that doesn't taste spicy but very sour, and you know there's an issue with this dish. However, if you do not know that this is an Indian fish curry and you think that this is Thai tom yum, then you might think that sour is normal. The important thing is identifying what it is before a master can give the right advice or solutions. And it brings me to the final concept of my BaZi introduction, the single most important concept in the whole of BaZi, and that is called 用神, or in English we call it useful god or the useful trait. So why is this useful god or useful trait so important? So what if I can identify what dish is this? So what if I can identify what profile is this? What are the predominant 10 gods? What are his or her characteristics in the BaZi? What are the 5 elements? We can give very accurate predictions without knowing him, without meeting him. But is that the whole point of doing a BaZi analysis? No. Do you want me to sit down and talk about your character for 1 hour? No. The true value of doing a BaZi analysis is to offer advice, is to give solutions on how to improve the BaZi, how to improve the person's life. And it's not about showcasing how accurate I am as a master in telling your character. We need to know whether this dish, do we need to put in a little bit more salt to make this dish taste better? Or do we need to make the plating a little bit more presentable? That's the whole essence of BaZi analysis. As I mentioned earlier, BaZi is also known as the 4 pillars of destiny. We want to know which pillar is the most crucial one, the most important one. If it's damaged, the whole structure will collapse. And the analogy that I like to share is like in a team, who is the star player? Who is the most important person? With this player around, the team wins. Without him, the team loses. That key player is the 用神. In a BaZi analysis, the most important analysis is to identify among these 8 words, who is the lead actor, who is the star player, And from there, we can give advice and solutions on how to improve a person's life by using more of this useful God trait. Only by knowing which is the useful God, then we can have insights into things like whether their profile is good, or their life is good, or when they might experience periods of good or bad luck in their life, etc. So we have come to the end of this BaZi introduction, where I have shared with you 5 most important concepts in BaZi. Let's do a small recap. The first concept that I shared with you is Yin-Yang, the 2 most basic forms of contrasting energy in this world. Number 2, the 5 elements, where everything is categorized under one of these elements and the nurture and curb relationship of these 5 elements with each other. Number 3, the 10 gods, a higher level of understanding what are some of the typical traits of a BaZi. Number 4, the BaZi profiling, where we try to identify what dish is this BaZi. And number 5, the most important concept in this introduction in the whole of BaZi, the useful God, where we try to identify who is the star player of the team. So there you have it, a glimpse into some key concepts of BaZi. And I trust that this video has provided you with some valuable insights into the world of BaZi, and you will have a better understanding when we discuss your BaZi later on. I'll see you soon.